What's up, YouTube? So, Captain America Brave New World, or its original title that they got switched from, Captain America Brave New World Order. This movie, they were trying to sell and overhype this movie like crazy with the extra amount of trailers that we've received, the Red Hulk promotion. This movie was not a Captain America movie. This movie was basically an Incredible Hulk movie featuring Captain America and other Hulk characters. So the movie opens up with Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford, who I think is probably the best character in the movie. He probably steals the show. Let me actually get this out of the way. As far as performances go, I think Harrison Ford and Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, those are probably the two strongest characters in the movie. Sam is okay when he's like doing things with Isaiah Bradley, but after Isaiah Bradley pretty much is out of the story until the end of the movie, everything else is flat. Sam is just disappointing to me. I didn't find any of his actions believable, and believe it or not, I feel like he had a little bit of the black agenda on him. Let me explain the black agenda. Basically, he could do no wrong. He was almost like a Gary Sue, where even though you see him taking some damage along the way, I feel like they just kind of went out of their way to show us the damage, because they know that it's almost impossible for him to do some of the stunts that he does. Him flying at high speeds and landing, like that landing shot he does where he lands down to the ground and then releases an EMP. Like, that should have made him mush. Or the scene where Red Hulk attacks him at the White House and then starts like Hulk smashing him down to the ground. I don't care what no one says, that's not believable. There's no way that he should have been still moving from that. Yeah, they showed him wincing in pain in some scenes, but it's still not believable enough. He should have been dead. Like the scene where he got grabbed from the White House, I'm gonna try to put that in this video as well too. But there's a side shot where Sam finally arrives to the White House and they get ready to fight Red Hulk. And Red Hulk charges at him like one of those gorillas and grabs him and then throws him on top of the White House. They're on top of the White House. That right there too. There's a scene where Red Hulk grabs the American flag from the White House and swings it and tries to swing it at Sam, and Sam just grabs it like he's Superman. Unbelievable. There's just no way. The story, I want to say after the 20-minute mark, is pretty much boring. We get, like, after the first 3 minutes of the movie, Sam gets into a fight with this dude. It's like a big white dude that's almost like the Russian from Punisher. Like, he's that size. And he decides that he wants to fight him mano y mano. Takes off his glasses and puts the shield away. And Sam is actually getting his ass beat for a good 5 minutes. And I'm just like, there's no way they expect us to think that this man is going to be able to fight Red Hulk. So Sam eventually ends up winning because, you know, the hero has to win. So he beats the guy up and does a couple of corny one-liners. Like, oh, the guy knocks him down and Sam says to the guy, do you need a minute? He's like, nope, I got other shit to do. You know, stupid one-liner quips like that. We do get scenes of the Falcon character, the new Falcon character. He's basically kind of like the tech guy, Sam's ear pretty much. A lot of the scenes that show them doing scenes together, like them sneaking into the base where the serpents were, where Sidewinder was planning his hostages or whatever, planning to take hostages or whatever. There's a scene actually in there where, like, I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of the Lego games. Like, if y'all played the Lego Marvel games, like where you have one character doing one thing and the other character just doing another thing. He's doing the tech while Captain America, Sam, is pretty much throwing the shield to open doors and things like that. So eventually they meet their way to Sidewinder, who had some hostages, and that was just a ploy because they actually had the adamantium. It was like a container of adamantium that they had found from the Celestial. So basically, if you didn't see the Eternals, there was like a celestial hand that's in the ocean basically, and they pretty much used that to say that they found adamantium in the MCU. Which that leads to more questions, because if this is just now being found, then what does that mean for Wolverine when we see him again? Because Wolverine already has adamantium in Deadpool and Wolverine, even though that's a different universe, but still, you're gonna have to explain that in a different way now. But yeah, Tim Blake Nelson's leader, who is also another Incredible Hulk villain from the 2008 movie that I mentioned in my previous video, he is in this film as well. And we hear the music that plays when he was sending messages to Bruce Banner back in the 2008 movie. Hell, even there's a scene in the beginning part of the movie where when President Ross is making his speech accepting being president of the United States, they do like a repurposed flashback where he has a mustache and he actually looks like they put like they CGI'd him to make him look a little bit younger, to make him look a little bit more like Ross from the 2008 movie. And they showed us footage of Hulk and Abomination destroying Harlem from the 2008 film. So it's like, why not just have the Hulk in this movie? Like I said, like, because I'm a Hulk fan, I'm the only person, I think I was the only person that was sitting there thinking, why not make the call? Where's the Hulk? Where's the Hulk? Where's Mark Ruffalo's Hulk? And there's a scene in the movie where Sam is invited to the White House and he takes Isaiah Bradley with him, as well as Falcon. They're all invited to the White House. During that invitation to the White House, he has a conversation, Sam has a conversation with President Ross, and Ross says that he wants to bring the Avengers back, and which kind of doesn't make sense, which I agree with Sam. He says it doesn't make sense because he was the one that signed the Accord back in Captain America Civil War, back when he was played by William Hurt, who passed away. And during that time, like, I guess the conversation was kind of vague, but I guess he said the Avengers had saved him, so I guess he was mentioning the fact that he was resurrected from Avengers Endgame when he was snapped away, as well as Betty, and I guess he had lost some time, but he was still having heart problems though, and that's the main reason why he had to secretly work with Samuel Stern's leader. But I feel like there's something else missing in this plot that doesn't make sense, and that's probably because of the budget cuts, or the the reshoots is a huge reason to why this feels like there are some chunks missing out of this story, some details missing, because in that case, if Thaddeus Ross decided to go to Leader for assistance and he was the one that threw Leader in prison and decided to throw him under the bus for the whole Abomination and Hulk massacre in Harlem, then why would he, like, something's not adding up. If he's not releasing him from prison and he's keeping him alive, why is he still in prison after all these 16 years? And that's the main reason why Tim Blake Nelson's leader is pissed off now. If you ask me, I think a better plan would have been if Tim Blake Nelson's leader decided to try to get Red Hulk and Green Hulk to fight each other at the White House. That would have been more interesting. Now, if Captain America was there on the side, that would have been something else. But what we got was just very mid and just out of place and did not work. The heart thing, in case people are wondering, that is actually a side story from Black Widow. So you would have also had to have watched Black Widow, because that's also another part that plays into another character kind of in this movie, who I believe has scenes cut. And that is going to be the Ruth Bat Seraph character. That's the secretary of President Ross. This character right here, I didn't really care for this character. This character was pretty much like she was like basically a Black Widow type character. Like, that's the best way I could describe it. She was a smartass and very distrusting of Isaiah Bradley and Sam for some reason, even though she's melanated, and they had to switch this character's race because they were scared of the Israeli roots that stem behind this character. And they switched this character from being a mutant in the comics to being just a regular Black Widow for some reason. She did get like a super suit, but we don't see it on screen. She just randomly shows up with it, so I think she has some scenes cut out, and that's fine because this character was whatever. She didn't need to be here. At some point in the movie, Falcon gets injured when him and Sam Wilson are having a battle versus a few like jets that are trying to attack the United States from Japan, because during that point in time, President Ross tried to set up a treaty with Tokyo. Like, he was in Tokyo meeting with the leaders, and during that time, I guess he had pissed one of them off during a meeting, and they don't want to sign the treaty. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I guess they're trying to go at war with the United States. That part makes absolutely no sense either. I feel like they just threw that in there as well, because after that little fight, nothing else happens with Tokyo. There's no mention of it whatsoever. We just get Red Hulk at the White House, which, like I said, I actually like Red Hulk, and I was actually kind of excited for Red Hulk, but it was disappointing to see how he went out and there was no Green Hulk. It was just a regular human doing things that he shouldn't have been able to do. And then I don't know, like, I just did not care for the way the fight was choreographed. That can't fight. Sam is just some guy from the military with basic combat training. He doesn't have all these different forms of martial arts, combat awareness, nothing like that. Sam Wilson, like, I just can't believe it with him and how he was able to like get some hits on Red Hulk. Like, okay, with the wings, oh, okay, I can see that. But he was like landing pieces of the wings that were like detaching and sticking to Red Hulk's skin. Like, you would see Red Hulk like picking some of them out of his stomach and out of his skin as Sam is like attaching him to him. But let me just spoil this part right here. So at some point they get taken to like these cherry blossom fields that you see in the trailer, because it's all over the trailer. And because he basically flies all the way away from the White House to get Red Hulk to chase after him, which we already knew that was going to be in the movie. He was trying to fly away to get him away from the White House and away from the public. And it was like to the cherry blossom area, basically, to try to talk down Red Hulk. Because earlier in the movie, he says he wanted to take a walk with Betty Ross, who, that's another Incredible Hulk main character, love interest, and no Incredible Hulk. Ridiculous. But he wants to take a walk along like the Japanese cherry, like those kind of fields with Betty Ross. And they had a conversation in the movie, like over the phone for like a minute. And she says, yes, that would be great. And he's trying to talk, Sam is trying to talk down Ross, saying, hey, this is the fields that Betty would like to walk with you on, don't you think? And then he like roars at him. So I don't know, like this whole movie, I get what they were trying to go with, like the whole espionage and mind control and manipulation. I think it was done well with the leader trying to manipulate like other Winter Soldiers and people like Isaiah Bradley, like how he made Isaiah Bradley shoot at President Ross when they were invited to the White House. Everything was planned out pretty well. My thing is, I think Baron Zemo should have been the main villain pulling the strings here, and leader should have been somewhere else. Like, why isn't Baron Zemo here doing this type of stuff, pulling the string? Because I could see him mind controlling certain Winter Soldier, like certain super soldiers again, and then just killing them. That's what would have made a lot more sense too, because I think leader killed off some of them in this movie too. So like this just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, I wish that the Hulk was in this movie. This should have been a Hulk movie, not a Captain America movie. This was too much for Sam Wilson Captain America. And also, like, you don't expect me to believe that he's even a better fighter than Daredevil, because Daredevil is doing all these backflips and these acrobatics, and it looks like Sam is having a hard time doing that. So this movie, I give this movie a 4 out of 10. This movie was disappointing. It's not offensive, but it's just boring is the main thing. And when you realize that this is not really a Captain America movie, but more of a Hulk movie with some elements from the Eternals, and Sam is just kind of here, it's just like, wow, what do we do now? Nowadays, you got Marvel movies that are horrible, and then you got DC movies that are horrible too. So it's like, damn, Marvel sucks, DC sucks. Now where do I go?